What happens when you leave boys alone with something like this? Well, most certainly your mom is not going to be happy about what all is happening behind her back. And today, I am sure my mom is going to cross her threshold of patience. So sorry in advance, mom. Just couldn't help it with the V-Cross. After all, it belongs to the wild. Yes, it's off the road where the V-Cross is in its element. So much so that you won't step back in throwing anything at it. Even I didn't. The location we are headed to offers long highway stretch, twisties, sharp corners and dips in the Aravalli range on the way, leading to this hardcore natural off-road track. Just the perfect course for the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. And with us is the 6-speed manual iteration mated to the new 1.9-litre VS6 engine, which we haven't tested before. This thing just prances over anything and everything. Be it in 4 high or 4 low, you just don't worry about the momentum because you have got enough of it, and it holds the revs nice and tight at 2000 rpm, so you have got enough push. And then I really don't worry about the approach or departure angle because it just goes over anything without breaking a sweat. However, the only thing that worries me a bit is the mid angle because, well, it has got a big wheelbase, so that is something you have to look out for. But then I have underbody protection and my job is done. It's a cakewalk for the V-Cross on the rough. Off-roading ability is phenomenal, and if you plan to do it often, you got to pick this manual over the range-topping automatic that we drove back in 2019. Don't get me wrong, even the auto does it quite potently, just that you feel more in command here in the manual. Even on our way here, 4 high served pretty well on inclines, dips, slush, sand or whatever came under it. Nothing seems challenging. If anything, it overwhelms you going beyond your expectations, and that's quite reassuring. It's like those solid woodland sneakers. Looks tough and stylish, and you barely feel the surface. Then, it can nearly go swimming with a water wading capacity of over 500mm. So we didn't mind being a water child and having our share of fun with the splashes. Now manual coupled with the robust shift-on-fly 4-wheel drive system is more promising even in highway munching as it is off the road. The 1.9-litre 4-cylinder VS6 diesel mill mated to the 6-speed manual transmission belts out a healthy 160 brake horsepower at 3500 rpm and 360 Nm of peak torque accessible right from 2000 rpm, and we quite like how it delivers. Well, this drivetrain simply puts a smile on my face. The meaty low-end torque is accessed nice and low at around 2000 rpm and in first and second gears, which are short and give you instant access to that torque. And then in following gears, third, fourth and so on, you can push it higher up the rev band at around 4000 rpm, which is its comfort zone, and that makes it an effortless cruiser. The mid-range is really good. The top end though is a bit flat, and getting up to higher triple-digit speeds will take some time. But then it's a V-Cross you don't want to hustle around with. It prefers relaxed driving, and you build up on speed gradually. I like how this 1.9-litre oil burner has been tuned. Feels more at ease than the 2.5-litre unit, where getting momentum and instant low-end push was a constant struggle. Well, that engine has been axed down post BS6 regulations rollout. The best part here, you don't need working with gears too much. Again, thanks to that low-end torque that allows you to cruise in 4 high or even 2 high at lower speeds and higher gears. So even 40 km/h in top gear is doable without much fuss. And you don't really need to drop down speeds any further. Suspension brings it about for you. And speaking of suspension, it gets high ride independent double wishbone coil spring up front, tall enough for ample articulation and play. while soft ride leaf spring at the rear doesn't make ride bumpy or too floaty, and the leaf spring is an aid when that bed is fully loaded at up to 215 kilograms, which is the prescribed limit. Well, that is a boon, especially on the road. It tips the scales at just less than 2 tons and stretches over 5.2 meters in length, and all that mass and size is very evident behind the wheel. But that bulky SUV feel is what owners really want in something like this, and still, for the size, it holds quite well around bends and corners, and electronics do come to your advantage. You feel it even more with an unladen deck that's always itching to slide, even with a gentle shove on the pedal. Electronics do keep a check here though. The steering feels cumbersome at lower speeds but will give you required heft and feedback when pushing hard, and the nose stays in right direction. Even sharp curves are easily dealt, and while you do keep a check on speed while cornering hard, it behaves well and doesn't float much on the highway. You do miss the 3-blink lane departure function on the switch though. But then, lateral movements even on small undulations and while changing lanes are inevitable, courtesy its tad soft-sprung suspension. It's actually not unnerving as the chassis is stable, but passengers do feel it. The ride qualities though is plush, and that slight soft edge in the suspension setup is helpful here. Even the sharpest of bumps don't feel as sharp, and it takes every terrain in its stride. Simply gliding over those beaten tarmac, pebbly roads or potholes, the 18-inch wheels with adequate tall profile do add up as well. But what hasn't changed at all is the way it looks.
And that's a good thing, because well, we have always loved its daunting and intimidating demeanor. The next generation V-Cross looks more angular, and it's on sale globally, will eventually come to India, and you will like that even more. But this looks truly handsome. And while I'm not a big fan of chrome, but healthy dose of it on its face actually go pretty well with this body color black mica. And then our test car get this additional chrome package. So around headlights you have got chrome, also on ORVM, doors here, and even at the rear, around tail lights and on the boot lid. And as we said, it doesn't look flashy at all, looks quite good in fact.
That being said, where it most certainly should have got an upgrade is inside the cabin. It needs one. All you get is a very functional 7-inch touchscreen with Bluetooth connectivity and stereo operations. So no Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, or even inbuilt navigation. Other things we sorely missed having were rear aircon vents, power adjustable seats, auto dimming mirror, and perhaps wee bit of soft touch material at least at frequent touch points like center and door armrests. Even leatherette seats and additional roof-mounted speakers are available only on the top-end Z Prestige automatic variant. The manual with us is available only on the Z 4x4 trim, a lower variant. So in here, all you get is 6 speakers, power adjustable and foldable wing mirrors, auto climate control, and of course power windows, but with just single touchdown operation for driver's side. Well, it does get parking sensors now, that the BS4 model didn't have in addition to the reverse camera, and it's quite handy while parking or reversing this mammoth of an SUV. But quite honestly, you have all these even in a premium hatchback nowadays. Something that needs shelling out close to 24 lakh rupees has to be up on the feel-good quotient and offer few more creature comforts. On the safety side, you do get 6 airbags, electronic stability control, traction control, hill descent control, and brake override system among others, and they do support you as already mentioned. But disc brakes are there only on the front while you get standard drum at the rear. It would have been nice to have discs at all corners offering you a bit better bite given its weight and size. Oh wow, that rhymes. Well, the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross is not for everyone. But still, I now don't wonder why it had such a cult following. And hundreds of queries for the BS6 version on its fan pages across social media platforms will tell you the same. I have to say that this 1.9-litre BS6 version has upped its credentials both off-road and on the highway compared to the previous 2.5 unit. It's like the Hulk from Avengers Endgame. Still does the job quite handsomely when the going gets tough, but now remains poised and maintains its composure. And then, it is still around 10 lakh rupees less expensive than the 4x4 Endeavour and Fortuner. For someone living in the hills, farms, countryside, or wherever traffic doesn't worry you too much, it can be the one for your garage. And for city dwellers, it can be your second car for highway munching or to satisfy your adventurous or wanderer streak.